Hello everyone, welcome to the Gate Engineering online learning classes. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Thevenin's and Norton's theorem for dependent sources. I have already uploaded one video for Thevenin's and Norton's theorem in case of independent sources. So let's quickly revise what is Thevenin's and Norton's theorem in case of independent sources and what is Thevenin's and Norton's theorem in case of independent sources and how we solve the problems. That is today's task. We quickly revise how we can solve the problems based on the independent sources. If we have given independent sources, how we can solve the Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem. So first we'll see what is the statement of the Thevenin's theorem. A linear bidirectional two-terminal network having more number of elements can be replaced by equivalent voltage sources or Thevenin voltage source with Thevenin's resistance in series. What does it mean? If we have a given number of sources, a number of voltage sources or current sources, and we have given number of components in a network, we can replace that by a single voltage source with a resistor, that is Thevenin's resistor in series. This is the main application for the Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. So we can simplify the circuit. We can simplify the large circuit in a small circuit. So VOC is nothing but the open circuit voltage, Thevenin's voltage with ZTH is Thevenin's impedance. If we have given AC circuit, so we will say that ZTH is the Thevenin's impedance. If we have AC circuit, we will call it as Thevenin's resistance. So applications is find out the current in a circuit. Find out the current or voltage in a circuit with the help of Thevenin's theorem. So this is the circuit we are considering. This is a circuit which consists of many number of sources or components. This is the block which consists of many number of sources and components, and we have to compute the voltage across this load terminal. This is a load component, and we want to compute the low current voltage across this load component, or we want to find out the current in this load. So we can simplify this entire network with a single resistor and voltage source. So this is ZTH and VTH. VTH is the Thevenin's voltage, ZTH is the Thevenin's resistance. If this circuit is the AC circuit, we will replace it by VTHT and ZTH, where ZTH is the Thevenin's impedance and VTHT is the Thevenin's voltage with function of time. Like VTH is nothing but Vm sin omega t. So this is a function of time. That's why VTHT is written. Now we'll find out the current in this 12 ohm resistance. In this load resistance, which is the 12 ohm, we have to find out the current. We can simplify it very easily with the help of the KCL, KVL, mesh analysis, and nodal analysis. But here we can also apply the Thevenin's theorems or Norton's theorem for finding out the current in this resistance, and we will get the same results. So let's see how we can simplify with the help of Thevenin. So we have already discussed this problem in the last video, but here we are also going to see quickly. If you have not watched that video, so you can see this video. In this video, you can find out the solution also. So solving this approach is first we need to remove the load resistance. After removing the load resistance, we will find out the voltage VTH across this terminal. This is the approach for finding out the VTH. For finding out the RTH, we will remove that load resistance and we will deactivate all the sources. Deactivation means short circuit the voltage source and open circuit the current source. So first we will see what is the VTH here. If you see voltage VTH across this terminal, this is the 2 ampere current, and this 2 ampere current will divide at this point. But unfortunately, this resistance is open circuited because this is not connected. This is not connected anywhere. So this is the open circuit. This resistance is open circuited from another terminal. So current in this branch is 0 ampere. So this 2 ampere current will go in this side, left side, overall left side. So here, this 2 ampere current will divide in two parts. One is the I1 and another one is the I2. So we can write a nodal analysis. We can write the KCL here, which is 2 equal to I1 plus I2. And I1 is nothing but we are considering voltage Vx at this point. So I1 will be Vx minus 16 divided by 8 and I2 will be Vx divided by 6, which will be equal to 2. And Vx is nothing but the VTH only. Vx is nothing but the VTH because voltage drop is 0 across the 2 ohm resistance. So Vx is equal to VTH, and whatever value we will get for Vx, that is the same as VTH. this equation can be easily simplified because we have only one variable with one equation, and we can find out the value of Vx from here, and that is 13.714 volt. And we can say that this Vx is nothing but Vth only. Now, for computation of RTH, first we'll remove the independent source and we'll deactivate all the sources. And deactivation means the short circuit the voltage source and open circuit the current source. So this is the short circuited, or voltage source is short circuited here. This is the open circuited. So now we'll find out the RTH, that is nothing but the equivalent resistance. Equivalent resistance across this terminal is our RTH. R equivalent is nothing but the RTH. And in this circuit diagram, we can see that this 8 ohm is nothing but the parallel with the 6 ohm. 8 ohm is in the parallel with the 6 ohm, and this overall, this 8 parallel 6 will overall be in the series with the 2 ohm. So we can write 8 parallel 6 plus 2, which is nothing but the 5.428 ohm. Now we got the VTH and RTH. We can draw the circuit diagram, that is the equivalent Thevenin equivalent circuit diagram. This is VTH and RTH. So VTH is the 13.714 and RTH is 5.428. And we have given already in the question RL is the 12 ohm, and we had to find out the value of IL in this question. So simply we can find out the value of IL by using the KVL here. That will be nothing but VTH divided by RTH plus RL. If we apply the KVL in this loop, we will get VTH divided by RTH plus RL. That will be equal to IL, and we have all these values are known, VTH, RTH and RL, and we can find out the value of IL, that is 786.89 milliampere. So this is the approach to solving the Thevenin's theorem, to solving the problem using Thevenin's theorem in case of only independent sources. Today we'll consider the dependent sources also. So now before moving to the dependent source, we will see just quickly in what is the Norton's theorem. So Norton's theorem is just somehow similar to the Thevenin's theorem. Only difference is that in the Norton's theorem, we compute the current ISC. We compute the current ISC instead of the voltage VTH. We compute the current ISC or IN, that is called as Norton current or short circuit current. And overall circuit is replaced by the single Norton's current source with the equivalent impedance or equivalent resistance in parallel. So we have large number of sources and components. We can replace that network with a single current source and equivalent resistance. So this is a complex network which consists of large number of components and as well as sources. So we can replace this circuit by the help of IN and RN in parallel combination. This RL is connected with that back to the Norton's equivalent circuit to find out the value of current in the RL. This is the approach. Now we will see one problem for a better understanding of the Norton's theorem. So this is the problem we have given. Just consider R1, R2, R3 and RL are known to us, and Vs is also known to us, and we have to compute the IL in the load resistance RL. Let's see how we can simplify it. In the Thevenin's theorem, we remove the RL and we open the short circuit. We open the terminals, but in case of the Norton's theorem, we remove the RL and we make short circuit to this terminal. We will short circuit this terminal and we'll find out the current in this branch, that will be IN. So this terminal is short circuited and we'll find out the current ISC or IN, both are same thing, short circuit current or Norton's current, and we can easily find out this current with the help of current dividing rule or some KVL analysis or KVL analysis or KCL analysis. We can easily find out. So you can apply two KVL. One is the I1, other is the ISC. You can find out the ISC value with the help of two equations with two unknown variables. I mean two variable I1 and ISC. There is another way. If you simplify this circuit, the simplification will be R2 parallel and R3 plus R1 in the series. So you will get one R equivalent, that is the R1 plus R2, R3 divided by R2 plus R3, and you will get I, that is the current flowing from the voltage source. It will be equal to Vs divided by R equivalent. Now you have I here, and consider I1 is in this branch and ISC in this branch, ISC or I2. So ISC in this branch, you can find out the ISC with the help of current dividing rule. That will be nothing but equal to I into R3 divided by R2, R2 plus R3. So this is the ISC current in this branch. That is nothing but Norton current, IN. Now we'll find out the Norton's resistance or Norton's impedance. So Norton's resistance Rn is nothing but RTH. It is same. We will apply the same approach to compute the RTH in case of independent sources. So we will open this circuit and we deactivate all the sources and we'll find out the current. So here this is the voltage source. This will be short circuited and we'll find out the Thevenin's equivalent or equivalent resistance across this terminal, that will be R2, R1 parallel R3 with R2 in the series. So R internal will be, R internal means R equivalent or R Norton or R Thevenin, both are all these things are the same. Now we know Norton's resistance and Norton's current, we can simplify it by the help of this circuit diagram, and RL is connected back to this circuit. And we can find out the current IL in this circuit with the help of ISC into R divided by RN plus RL. This is nothing but the current dividing rule, CDR. So this is the part where we had given only independent sources. Now, if we consider dependent sources in a network, this may be two cases. One is the only dependent sources in a circuit. Another case is the both dependent as well as independent sources in the circuit. So first we'll consider when we have given both dependent and independent sources are given in the circuit. Then later on we'll see when we have given only dependent sources. And both the theorems are similar in these cases. When dependent sources are given, both the theorems are similar. Only difference you will find in the last when you will have to design the circuit. Because in solving the circuit, when dependent sources are given with the independent source, you will compute always VTH, ISC and RTH. You will compute VTH, ISC and RTH. All these three are required. Either you solve the Thevenin's theorem, either you solve the Norton's theorem. Well, after computation of these three, you need to choose VTH and RTH for the Thevenin's theorem, and you need to choose ISC and RTH for the Norton's theorem. Let's see how we'll do. So first we open the circuit, load terminal first we'll open, and we'll find out the VTH. As usual, we find find in case of the independent sources. We'll short circuit the load terminals and we'll find out the current short circuit and ISC, and Thevenin's resistance will be VOC divided by ISC. Thevenin's resistance will be VOC divided by ISC. And other cases when we have only dependent sources, in that case what we will consider independent. In case of only dependent sources, we'll consider VOC is equal to 0, because there is no independent sources are given, because dependent sources will depend only on current and voltage from the other terminals. When independent sources are not given in the circuit, we consider VOC is 0, and we consider 1 ampere current source across the load terminal, and we find the voltage across this current source VAB, and this will be equal to resistance across this terminal will be equal to RTH. So you will understand it little later. Just wait for a minute. First we solve the problem based on this criteria when we have dependent as well as independent sources. So in the circuit we have given, this is the current controlled voltage source, because minus and plus is given in this diamond shape symbol. So this is the dependent source, and minus and plus is given, that means it is the voltage source, and it is depending on the I current which is flowing in the 4 ohm resistance. So this is the dependent source is given. One is independent source is also given, that is a 12 volt. So approach to solve this problem, first we will compute the VTH across this by opening the terminal, and this is already open. And for computation of ISC or IN, we will short circuit the AV terminal and we find out the current in this branch. And for computation of RTH, we will compute VTH divided by ISC. So you remember this step, you will not make mistake if you remember this step. So first you solve the VOC or VTH. So this is the open circuit. Now we can apply the KVL in this loop for finding out the VOC. So after applying the KVL, you will get the value of I, which is nothing but the I is a current which is flowing in this loop, which is equal to 2 ampere. And this is the 2 ohm resistance which is open. So current in this branch will be 0. So voltage across the 4 ohm resistance is nothing but the VOC, that is across the 4 ohm resistance. So VOC will be 4 into 2, that is the 8 volt. Okay. Now for computation of ISC, we will short circuit it and ISC current will flow in this circuit. So we will apply the KVL in this 2 loop. You will get 2 equations with 2 variables. One is the I1, second one is the I2. And after solving this, you will get value of I1 and I2, that is nothing but 18/7 and 12/7. And in the circuit diagram, if you will see, I2 is nothing but ISC or short circuit current or Norton current. So we can say that ISC is 12 by 7. So now we have VTH or VOC and ISC. So what we can do, we can find out the RTH, that will be VOC divided by ISC. That is 14 divided by 3 ohm. Now point is that this is a common approach for Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. We find out all these three. Now point is that what is the Thevenin equivalents? For Thevenin equivalent, we will use the VTH and RTH and connect in the series. Okay. For Norton's equivalent, we'll consider VTH and ISC. Sorry, we'll consider RTH and ISC and we'll connect in parallel. So this is the ISC and this is RTH. So this is in case of the Norton's theorem. So this is the 12 by 7 ampere and this is 14 by 3 ohm resistance. So this is load terminal. Now if we consider only dependent source. Here the circuit diagram you see, there is no independent source is given. So we are considering here only dependent source, which is 2I, and this is the plus terminal, this is the minus terminal. So this is the voltage source. We can see that in diamond shape we have given. So it is dependent source and it is depending on the current value. So we can see the current controlled voltage source. Okay, and current, this I is flowing the 12 ohm resistance. It means that this source is depending on the current in the 12 ohm resistance. So now what we'll do, we'll find out the Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent across the terminal A and B. So we'll compute. This is the open terminal. We always consider VOC equal to 0 volt, and we consider 1 ampere current source here, and we will find out the voltage across the terminal is VAB. That is our aim to solve this circuit for the equivalent circuit. So this is the current. We consider 1 ampere current source, and now we'll find out the value of the I, and we'll compute the VAB. That will be equal to 12 into I, because this voltage across this A and B will be equal to the voltage in the 12 ohm resistance. So simple, we simplify by applying the KVL in this loop. And we'll consider current is I, and this 1 ampere current is also flowing this. So after applying the KVL, we can find out the value of I. There is another approach. If you consider voltage across this terminal, that is the VAB, that is another approach to solve this problem. And 1 will be equal to VAB minus 2I divided by 6. 1 is equal to VAB minus 2I divided by 6 plus VAB divided by 12. And we can solve this. And we will get one equation in terms of VAB and I. Now we want one relation, that is VAB equal to 12I. From this component, VAB equal to 12I, and we will simplify these equations to get the value of VAB. Now we have VAB, and RTH is nothing but VAB divided by 1, that is the 4.5 ohm, and equivalent resistance is nothing but 4.5. Because VOC is 0, VTH is 0, so there is no voltage source we will connect across this. This is Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Thank you. I hope this is clear to everyone. In the next video, we will talk about the maximum power transfer theorem and superposition theorem.